evening, everyone. Welcome to Nine's Wide World of Sports and our coverage of Monday Night Live football. The game tonight in the Foundation Cup competition should be a beauty between North Adelaide and the Double Blues. Of course, the Double Blues, the only undefeated side in the competition. Joining me now, Neville Roberts and Rocky. Will the Double Blues bubble burst tonight?
Good evening, good day, Ken. Well, it's a hard question, but I don't think so. And even if it did, I don't think it's that important. I think it's a bit of a get-to-know-you period for Higgins and his boys. But the positional changes he has made is about him learning about players, but he's replaced players with the same height, strength, balance, speed, those sorts of things. And I don't think it'll make a lot of difference on the ground. There's the Sturt side. Let's have a look at it quickly. Lennon's form in the centre last week. And
outstanding.
And Graham, I don't think you gave him a chance last week, did you? Playing in the centre well.
Hey, fellas, stop bringing that up, will you? He's playing pretty well for a bloke I thought couldn't handle the position.
We'd probably leave it alone after the season's finished.
As soon as he drops the game or doesn't go so well, you won't bring it up again, will you?
But they're still going to miss players like McGowan, O'Keefe and Vill, who have been very good players for them.
Particularly McGowan. I think his grass-burning speed has been very prominent in their 2 wins to date.
Well, those players kick 8 goals between them, and Vill particularly formed beautifully out of that forward line with Nuski, and they look very, very dangerous there. Graham, Alexander came on the second quarter last week. He's a tight, athletic little player, and he gets around the footy, reads the crumbs. He was good, I thought.
And he gets a chance tonight to play a full game too, Rocky, which gives a player a chance to express himself when he's named in the opening 18. I'm a great believer in that. Coming off the bench isn't really the thing to do with young kids.
Well, Graham, looking at the North Adelaide side, I see where they're persevering with Arnold at full forward.
Yeah.
They've got Clisby at centre-half back, and Bond's gone back to full-back, where he actually started at full forward.
I don't like that much, Ken, but I'm picking North tonight, as you probably know. I'm a great believer, folks, that good sides bounce back. North losing last week will make them steel themselves for a tough game tonight, and I think Sturt, having won the first 2, maybe just a little bit in a comfort zone. So I'll go for North tonight, Ken, not by much. Let's say 11-20, just to be different.
He's got to be different, doesn't he?
Famous 1-10. And Tasker off a half-back flank, it's obviously looking to improve his game and learn a little bit about the defensive action.
Yeah, I like Tasker. I do believe he's a key position player, Rock, more than a half-back flanker, but nonetheless, he's got to play Clisby at centre-half back. He can't get away with Tasker in the key position while Clisby's out there, so going to a half-back flank will be a good experiment.
Good on you, Graham. Graham, of course, going for North Adelaide there. The game is about to get underway. Let's take you to your caller, Bucky Cunningham.
Thanks, Cage. A great night here at Football Park. The turf, as usual, immaculate, and the air crisp and clean, and players will really appreciate the cool air tonight. The umpires, David Trembale holding the ball aloft to start the first quarter, joined by John Hilton this evening. A wayward bounce favours Mick Redden, takes that one, didn't recall the bounce, got it back to Clisby. The handball came out eventually from Klomp and wide. Tasker goes long toward the centre-half forward area. North Adelaide, Arnold in front was strong. Paul Arnold playing at full forward this evening.
And Bucky, Nunan vindicated already by playing Arnold full back to full forward, a mark within 30 seconds.
Well, that was strong. He was in front. The ball was delivered quickly. That was the secret of it. Tasker's kick was long and direct. Arnold, for a full-back, has done well right up to the goal square area. Quickly off hands, the quick snap at goal. And Bennett's put it through. He has. Just got his foot to that one.
Well, and I think Arnold a little unlucky there. The ball possibly should have continued on and bounced through because all the pack missed it. Let's just have a look at it. Bennett placed himself at the back of the pack. Nice strong mark. Opposition to McCarthy, who withdrew last week to allow Whittlesey in the side, and Burke played at full back. Good player McCarthy. The ball, watch this, over the back. I don't know whether it was touched or not, but Bennett crumbed well for a big fellow. And they formed that combination beautifully for the Roasters first.
Back in the middle, down goes the bounce, up the big men go. Redden got his hands to the football, working hard. It's heavy stuff in the middle at the moment. A good start by the Roosters. Sims is in there. He can't do much with the football. Gee, players are desperate tonight. Both sides keyed up to win this encounter. The Double Blues, as I said, the only undefeated side in the competition. North Adelaide disappointing last week. It's umpire David Trembale bouncing the football. His co-umpire is umpire John Hilton, in my opinion the best umpire in the state. Sturt trying to work the ball away through the agency there of Miller, but a free kick has been played. Which way will it go? It'll go the way of the Double Blues, and it's Lennon from the centre of the ground.
Bruce Lennon long toward half forward. That's a good kick. Nuski was on the lead. Over the back it went. The spoil came, but no one really got their hand near the ball, and John Riley and Simon Sotheby see it go out of bounds. Forward pocket about 25 to 30 metres around from that Sturt goal. Not a lot of breeze here at Football Park. Greg Whittlesey won the toss for the Double Blues and elected to kick to that lake end. they go over the top. That was a great tap over. Riley, it came from Redden, of course. Riley gets the handball away. The short kick close to the boundary line. Can't be kept in play by Lehman. And again, a throw-in results.
So the Double Blues only won one of their 5 Foundation Cup encounters last year. Of course, you're live on Nine's Wide World of Sports, as you will be every Friday and Monday evening through these 5 rounds, including the grand final. With the ball high, doing the roving, got it off beautifully to Radbone. He chips high to full forward, underneath it, Nuski again. No, it's not. Clinton Bravo. Excited about Nuski playing at full forward, and after last week he was... let's have a look at it. Nuski 32 running backwards into the pack there, but from the ACT, plays centre-half forward in the capital. Let's see how good he is in front of goal. Not bad for his first.
There's certainly good movement there by the Double Blues. That's a strong mark by that young man there, Bravo, Clinton Bravo. As Rocky has told you from Canberra, the kick came in on that occasion from Radbone. Shane Radbone used his pace. This is a strong mark. And kicked very straight indeed, going towards the lake end, as you see here. That's a very, very impressive start. So the score's all tied away.
Promising start by both sides this evening. 6 points apiece. Sims tries to get it away. Plays for the free kick, unsuccessful. Working in hard as Painter. Field eventually gets the kick wide. Sutterby is there. Has to get around. He's got pace toward the goal. He goes with the right boot, but the umpire's made far too much ground. And 1 point only. Good work by Simon Sutterby. A lot of pace to get around that half-forward flank.
Yes, he did it well. He had to outrun John Riley on the circle as well, and that requires a lot of pace, and John Riley might find his pace a little bit difficult to handle. Redden throws the ball forward. Lennon in the way, almost got it. Lehman got it out. Jarman couldn't control it. Alexander now played well when he came on in the second quarter last week. Bravo again, trips over everybody trying to get through. Darren Jarman gave it on to Klomp, or to Sims at least. He couldn't control it. Clisby in there. Got the ball up, centre half forward. And for North Adelaide, a bounce. Bravo, Redden, tap again. He hasn't lost many tonight. And he gets the free kick as well.
Big Mick Redden comes towards the grandstand side. The tackling by both sides has been absolutely fierce in the opening moments of this first quarter. Darryl Hart working the ball towards the boundary line, being pursued by Greg Whittlesey, and the ball goes out of play. A fantastic night for footy here at headquarters, and of course the Double Blues supporters hoping they can retain their unbeaten record in the Foundation Cup. Down it goes to Radbone, tries to crash through Blair, can't do so, and umpire Jack Hilton will call for a bounce. The ever cool Jack Hilton. Built like a greyhound dog, he is. Doesn't run quite as quick as a greyhound dog, but he can umpire. Over the top went Leonard, but a great tap by Redden. Finds Sims back towards centre wing. Over the top of the pack it goes. A chance for Kim Russell. Oh, he's met by Tasker, but battles on and in fact takes the ball out of play. In comes Klomp with a late tackle, but no harm done. And the score's Sturt 1-1-7, North Adelaide 1 goal.
And Kim Klomp let the crowd know there was no harm done as well. Throw in. Bennett was up. Over the top came Lena. Tapped it straight to a nest of North Adelaide players. Jarman couldn't control. Burke got it out eventually to Bartlett. Smothered. Comes back toward Russell. Can't get his kick away. Good tackling. Strong. Burton's in there as well. And the umpire is forced to bounce about 45 to 50 out from the north goal.
Gee, Bucky, it's pretty fierce stuff out there. It's pretty hard to get a kick at the moment.
It's good footy, Ken. This is the way it ought to be played. And on a night like this, there's nothing to prevent the best sort of football, and we're seeing it here. Leonard, the tap away. Trying to get the ball away. Eventually it comes to Jarman with a short kick out, makes space. Arnold has got pace in front, gets it across to Atkinson. Short pass into the pocket was good to Bennett, and that's good method.
But Bennett already has 1 goal, and he did that by crumbing. Reasonable shot in front of goal. Big player. Let's have a look at him on this run.
Lines it up, only 35 to 40 out. Left foot against the boundary, but the goal umpire looks at that and says, that's good enough for me.
So Bennett on a short lead. Atkinson did well off his left foot to get it to chip it short at least. Let's watch it. The grab was taken by Arnold. He got it out to Atkinson on his left foot. lifted the eyes, had a look, put it out in front. The lead was good, and gee whiz, chest high, could have taken it in his hands if he wanted to. Kicked accurately for his first, and the Roosters second.
The bounce in the middle of the ground, taken by Hill, Simon Hill of North Adelaide, flanked by Taskett, goes with a handball, he's in trouble. Bartlett gave the football away to Radbone, back towards half forward it goes. In fact, the kick came from taken by Painter, over to Whittlesey, good movement by the Double Blues. The kick is partly smothered. Jarman takes possession, comes back towards centre wing, looking for young Lehman, and he in fact takes a mark. Troy Lehman, very talented player, only a youngster, with big future. His third possession, kicks towards centre half forward, looking for Hill. Oh, good mark in front on this occasion to lean it. Got his big hands to the footy, and he made no mistake. Looking for leads further afield, kicks towards centre half forward. Not a good kick on that occasion, not well placed. Oh, it's heavy work in the scrums on that occasion. Alexander, gee whiz, don't tell me that's holding the ball. Strike me, Pete Bucky, how quick was that?
Well, let's have a look at it again. He's got it. It is in his grasp. He got the handball away, but I thought he did it effectively, Ken. Nevertheless, the ball is down with Mick Redden, just defensive side of the centre, the big fella, looking to palm it off and gets the run. Clisby just breaks the tackle. Now he goes through centre half forward. In fact, he goes wide to half forward flank. Out there is Blair. That was the player it was meant for. Whittlesey's out there with him. It's a fair task for Blair against Whittlesey because his tackling is superb. And there it is again. Out of bounds. In fact, Whittlesey's got the free kick. So, Neville, they're consistent on that holding the ball.
Yes, they're not going to give players much time at all, and in these sort of conditions, I guess if you feel the tackle and you don't get rid of it, you'll be penalised. Miller runs through the centre of the ground, has a bounce. He's about 45 metres out, goes long to goal. Just a little wide. That was a good movement by the Double Blues. Went into the forward line with plenty of run. Player running short and open the game out. So the Double Blues now, they move along to 1-8. They trail North Adelaide 2-12.
The kick-off goes towards Redden. He takes a fine mug. He's having a tremendous game. Redden gave a handball, which was a sloppy one. I was the player with the football, then kicks long towards full forward, but it goes out of play. Bond couldn't complete the mark. The boundary umpire will throw the footy in. It's tucked away in the pocket. Double Blues into attack. They trail by 4 points, almost 10 minutes into this first term. Over the top went Redden. Heavy stuff in there. Alexander's on the bottom of the pack again. Oh, gee whiz. That to me is ridiculous. That's far too quick. The player going in and getting the footy's being pinged all the time. Tasker with the free kick. Comes towards the grandstand side. Take your pick, Hart or Jarman. Hart takes the mark. Runs 10 metres. Kicks towards the centre wing. Looking out here for Hill. Oh, that'll be out of bounds on the full. Unfortunate mistake on that occasion by Richter. The free kick to Hill. Towards half forward he goes. And Bennett's been a stumbling block. A good mark. Goes out the way to Atkinson, to Hart. Hart in towards full forward. The kick's on its way. Oh, great mark by Arnold and a goal.
North Adelaide certainly worked it well up forward. Arnold eventually finishing off a move that involved several handballs. And it started with Bennett. He got the ball across Atkinson, the move down the ground. The kick-in was good. It was direct and long to the goals, and it's a one-on-one battle, and that's always the way that you score goals.
Back with play. With the ball out there at the moment is David I. He goes long into the pocket. Milski the target. Painter does the crumbing. The previous play before the break, we thought it was a goal, but it wasn't awarded, and it wasn't a score because it was a free kick. Arnold interfered with the player in front of him. In fact, pushed him in the back as the umpire saw it. Throw in. Mick Redden. He's got most of the knocks tonight. Klomp, Miller. They work it out. The Roosters do it pretty well. Battling hard in there. It was Radbone. Reynolds now caught with the ball. Marshall caught him. There was great work by Marshall. And your point about holding the ball, Ken, have a look at it again here. It might have been high on him, but that's the way the umpire saw it.
Reynolds handballs off to Richter. Goes towards half forward. Lennon was the player he's looking for, but couldn't take the mark. Atkinson goes towards half forward, but Reynolds chipping in again for the Double Blues, takes the mark. Gee, the tackling is absolutely fierce at the moment. David Reynolds kicks towards half forward he goes, but Redden should take the mark. Yeah, that's a poor kick by Reynolds. Over it goes towards Bennett, who's booted 2 goals for North Adelaide. Kicks towards centre half forward. Off hands, it's Leonard taken by Sims. A chance now for the Roosters. He kicks up towards full forward. Or pushing and shoving going on there. Thought McCarthy a bit unlucky not to get a free kick. Hartley sock off the ground. He keeps the ball in front of him, but finally it's forced through for a minor score. So North Adelaide go to 2-1-13. Sturt 1-2-8.
Margin of 5 points, almost 13 minutes into this first quarter. Kick in from Tony McCarthy. Grandstand side. There's a bit of nudging out there. The umpire's been in a good position on that occasion, Jack Hilton. And the free kick will go to Brett Leonard. Darren Jarman is the player against him. Second kick to Leonard as he goes towards centre wing. Over Whittlesea's head. A bit of pushing and shoving. In there is Bennett. Gets the handball back to Klomp. Back to Jarman again. Oh, there's a fight behind play. We'll pick it up in a moment. The ball down towards centre half forward. Reynolds and Leonard. Leonard's got it. Goes back to the big fellow in Bravo. Gets the long handball across to Burke. His high kick towards centre wing. Players have broken up in that area. Now a good mark over the top to Bruce Lennon. Oh, he's got to kick it quickly. Coming in from the side. He did play on. Klomp came in quickly. Now he's got the chance to pick it up. In the meantime, Jack Hilton says, I'll bounce it on centre wing. Plenty of vigour.
You're right, there is. And on that occasion, Lennon was blind to Klomp coming in from the side. I always wonder when I look at players that don't have that sort of peripheral vision. But it hasn't affected Lennon's form. Last week was terrific. North Adelaide by 5 points. We've played 14 minutes in the first quarter. Live on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Reynolds in ruck against Bennett. Even tap. Whittlesey got it down, playing up a half-back feint. Atkinson to Jarman. Held without possession is the ruling. And Jarman's enjoying that against Lennon. Free kick.
Lennon's a bit hampered here. I think he copped a cork thigh of that tackle by Klomp. As the kick goes towards half forward, or hard appear to get a push. Taken by Bennett, who's playing superbly for the Roosters. Over to Klomp. Klomp well shepherded by Hart. Goes short towards centre half forward. And a fine mark by Atkinson. So it's bad news for Sturt if Lennon is in fact injured. He goes short and finds Jarman. Jarman at centre half forward. Kick number 5 for Darren Jarman.
There's Mike Nunan in your screen. Not worried about too much, but on that occasion, Lennon was in the hands of the trainers. His player went forward in Jarman, and no one helped him out by picking them up. They need to communicate better than that.
Jarman going towards the golf course end. It's North by 5 points. It's a long kick. Will it get the distance? No, lob just in the square, and a fine mark by Leonard. Not paid, no offhand, says the umpire. And it's forced through again for a point for North Adelaide. They go to 2-2-14. Sturt 1-2-8.
Just over 15 minutes played in this first quarter. It's been tight. Doesn't mean all that pretty, but players have really put in. Oh, big one-handed attempt by Jarman over the back. Nice work by Lehman to Bennett. Short toward half forward, and Burton the mark. Craig Burton is about 45 to 50 metres out. Had to stand his ground to take that one. And now the chance at goal. That's the reward. He's gone for the short pass. That's a lovely one too to Daryl Hart. Now Hart is closer, obviously. He's about 30 metres out, but the angle is greater, should I say. Has 1 goal to his credit. With his 4th kick lining up, a very acute angle. Forward pocket. The wind won't be too much of a worry. We're right behind it. Kicked straight to goal and went straight through the centre.
And Hart proving how dangerous he can be. There on a lead. And out in front on that occasion. Difficult pocket, Graham Campbell's pocket in fact. But he's a very, very skillful player. We only call it Graham Campbell's pocket because of the breezes and the wind, and very difficult place to kick goals. Great player, Hart.
Back at the centre bounce. Ball towards centre half forward for Sturt. Alexander goes in. Will he get a free kick? No, he won't. I thought he should have. Gee whiz. That's a bit tough. Of course, I'm a long way away from it.
Let's have a look. Gee, we've got to work hard for your freeze here.
I agree with that comment, Bucky. Short, but it was certainly sweet. And the North Adelaide big men are absolutely destroying Sturt, Redden and Bennett. They're getting kicks all over the ground. Goes out wide looking for Hill. Oh, strong mark by young Simon Hill. Centre half forward. Got the handball away to Tasker. That's the rebound that North Adelaide are looking for. Bit of pace from that half back line. Oh, Arnold. Gee whiz, he started superbly too. Up went the big hands.
He came in nicely, Arnold. Had 2 to beat, but he had the sit on both of those players. They were well out of position. The kick was perfect.
Arnold up towards full forward. Off hands. Lehman in there. Ball to ground. Redden almost completed the mark, but umpire David Trembath will call for a bounce.
12 points the difference in favour of the Roosters. 17.5, just over that. Oh, the quick tap comes to Sims. Around the body he goes. Should get it, but didn't. 1 point only. Quick snap under plenty of pressure. And Stephen Sims has got those before.
It was a good attempt at goal. An even better tap by Redden. How dangerous is that man when he gets his hands on the ball? There's the score. North Adelaide 3-3-21. They lead Sturt 1-8. Nearly full time in the first quarter. Football Park. McCarthy brings the ball back in. Good kick towards centre half back for the Double Blues. Players dive on the ball. No result. Will have a bounce.
Umpire David Trembath. There you see Kevin Higgins, coach of the Double Blues. A little bit of frown on his face. It hasn't been a good quarter. They've been outplayed by North Adelaide in this first quarter. Darren Jarman working hard. Tackling's been absolutely fierce in this first quarter. Hasn't been a pretty game, but I tell you what, it's been a good game to watch. Players working hard for their kicks. The Roosters by 13 points, almost 19 minutes into the first term. Reynolds, Redden. Chance now for the Blues to come. Miller with a handball. Taken by Burton. Tackled. Chance now for Simmons. Up towards half forward, but it's all Sturt back there, and Richter takes the mark. Darren Jarman doesn't agree, but it was as plain as the nose on your face. Richter the mark.
John Richter, back pocket player with his 3rd kick. And Sturt are lacking their prime movers at this stage of the game. Whittlesey and Paint are hardly sighted. They're the ones, once they get going, create the danger for Sturt. The umpire's seeing another free kick. Holding on, is going North Adelaide direction. Taken by Bennett. He's killing him. 8 touches to Bennett. Across to Clisby. Burton now on centre wing. Just forward of it with his 3rd kick towards centre half forward. Well placed in front is Hill. Takes the mark. Plays on quickly. Goes long to goal. 1-on-1. Back there is Arnold. Lets the ball go. The bounce is through, I think. It is. It's a goal.
Well, a good piece of play by the Roosters. Let's watch Hill as he does it well from centre half forward. Might be the difference at the moment. The Roosters taking the ball through half forward beautifully. It's a nice strong grab under a lot of pressure from Leonard. He set himself, didn't hesitate, went long to goal. Would have dropped a little short other than the sensible play by Arnold. He learned his lesson from before, decided to shepherd this time rather than block.
Back with umpire Jack Hilton. Seconds ticking away in this first quarter. Reynolds with the tap, a chance for Sims. There is Miller for Sturt, gets a handball out to Lennon. Lennon around his body, up towards half forward. It may go out of bounds in the full. It does. A free kick to North Adelaide. So nothing much going right for the Double Blues at the moment in this first quarter. Player almost have to jump the fence to get the footy here at the moment. That is Blair. Jason Blair for North Adelaide. On the defensive side of centre, looks for leads. Simon Hill's playing well at centre half forward, but he kicks over that player's head, decides to go towards Bennett. Taken by Klomp. Atkinson socking the ball off the ground, but there's the sign. And it's at quarter time, North Adelaide by 19 points.
Yeah, certainly North Adelaide's quarter, if there is any breeze out there, it's favouring the Lake End. They're against it that quarter, and their big men, Bennett and Redden, surely on top, and Sturt have a hard fight to get back from here.
It's the Roosters by 21 points. Stay with us because we'll be back with more action after the break.
Let the night roll
Well, welcome back to Footy Park at quarter time. It's all the Roosters here. 4-3-27, a good quarter by North Adelaide, leading Sturt 1-2. Of course, the main goal kickers, Bennett's played a superb game for the Roosters, and for Sturt, Bravo just the one from centre half forward. Graham Campbell talking about centre half forward and up forward. Sturt haven't had the ball up forward much, but when they've got there, they've really struggled.
Well, that's right, Ken, and I tell you what, the signs are ominous for Sturt because they had a 3 or 4 goal breeze that quarter, Ken, and kicked one solitary goal, and North ran the ball superbly. The North of old, they kicked 4 goals into the breeze. Really, they're on fire at the moment.
And talking about North Adelaide, their ruckman, in particular, Redden and also Bennett playing superbly, Graham.
Gee whiz, that Michael Redden, I'd love to rave to him, Ken. You couldn't miss out. I mean, he puts it down your throat. He's a genius, and Daryl Hart's really mopped up well in that area from the big fellas getting the ball down to him.
Sturt has tried a new bloke at centre-half forward, young Bravo. How have you seen his performance, Graham?
Well, he kicked the goal, Ken. That's all we've seen of the lad so far. I'm more impressed with Simon Hill at centre-half forward for North. He's real angular type. When he gets the ball, he bounds away, and more than that, kicked the country mile when he kicked that goal. I like that kid.
Yeah, actually, talking about young Simon Hill, he impressed me. He's got strong hands, Graham, and took a couple of big grabs at centre-half forward.
Well, Ken, he's a lively type. That's what you've got to have at centre-half forward. Both will bounce around the place, not just go for a mark and, you know, if the ball spills to the ground, it's all over a Red Rover. He's a battler, and he's shown me plenty tonight so far.
Good on you, Graham, and of course, Graham's gone for North Adelaide. He's always a good judge on a Monday night, Graham Campbell. OK, let's take you to your commentators, Brian Cunningham and Neville Roberts.
Thanks, Cage. Start of the second quarter. Jack Hilton with the ball in the centre, waiting for players to get into position. That breeze is little more than I figured at the start of the game. Graham Campbell seems to think it's worth 3 or 4 goals. And North Adelaide the use of it in this second quarter. 27 plays 8. Jack Hilton to put it down. Mick Redden, superb in that first quarter, to ruck against Brett Leanett. A good bounce to up they go. Leanett got the tap. Painter the kick away. High toward the centre-half forward area. Off the hands, the thump away. The defence is pretty good from North Adelaide. Alexander is there. John Riley, the veteran, the handball out, puts it across. Simmons comes through. Hard across to Clisby, and North Adelaide work it beautifully out of defence. Across to Marshall, who took his eyes off it there for the critical moment. Got it back to Tasker, though, to Clisby. Plenty of handball. Clisby across again, giving Marshall the chance. Now he breaks through centre wing, goes toward the centre-half forward area, sets it up from behind. Oh, Arnold stayed back, the others flew. Can he pick it up? Sockers it out cleverly to Lehman. Lehman to goal, he's put it through.
Lehman with his second kick showed the benefit of reading the play and being in the right place for the crumbs. Brought the ball crossed half forward. McCarthy, wild punch at it. Arnold first to recover. Shepherd's beautifully because he saw Lehman out of the side of his eye. The benefit of experience gave the youngster a clear run at goal. He didn't let him down for his first.
Back at the centre bounce. The Blues in trouble early in the second quarter. Redden got his hands to the football again. Hart being held onto. Appealed for the free kick, but it wasn't paid. He's in there working hard. He'll get a push in the back. Yes, he will. That certainly was a well-earned free kick to Hart. He goes to Clisby. North Adelaide running the ball beautifully at the moment. Over towards Marshall. Goes round in a circle. Then goes back onto his right boot. It's a shocking kick. Up towards the forward pocket it goes. McCarthy is there. Can't do much with it. Reynolds working hard. Gets the handball away to Russell. Russell kick back to the centre of the ground, but it's all North Adelaide through Redden, and he takes a mark. And a 15-metre penalty kick. Well, I don't know how you saw that, Bucky, but I thought it was a little bit... A 50-metre penalty kick, a little bit soft.
That's the hard one for the umpires, Ken, to decide whether that was a late tackle as Leanett came in. We'll have a look at it here. Comes in, and I think he was committed to it. Neville, I'm sure he was.
That is a ridiculous use of the 50-metre penalty. It makes an absolute farce of it and embarrasses the umpire and the game completely.
Comment Rocky Roberts. Back with Mick Redden. Kicking towards the lake end. Only about 25 metres from goal. Straight to the middle, and North Adelaide now go to 6-3-39. Sturt 1-2, and really, Bucky, when you look at Sturt, they've got to get some drive from their running players like Whittlesey, Painter. Phil's just left the ground. Radbone, they really haven't been sided tonight.
Yes, they haven't. It's the big fellas where it starts, and Brett Leanett was the player. You saw it again then. He jumped at it, and he was in the air and couldn't control his movement after that, and that was the 50-metre penalty. But yes, you're right, Ken, the running players are not in it, and partly because the bigger players aren't controlling the ball around the ground.
Mike Redden doesn't look all that fit at the moment, and the runner waving to the bench. Maybe he'll have to come off. 3-minute mark, second quarter. Hart to Sims. The Roosters go forward again. Out of the centre, they've been very, very strong. In front, doing it well, was Russell. Plays on. Finds Burke. His kick is long. Grandstand side. Can the Blues get into attack? Lennon hasn't been sided much tonight. He had 2 kicks. It was he, Field, Painter. Just watch as Redding comes off the ground. And, I don't quite know what's wrong with him. We can't find out, but he doesn't look all that flash, and I certainly would be taking him off the ground this early from the throw-in. Sturt not getting any drive. They're also without the use of O'Keefe, McGowan and Ville, who kicked 8 goals between them last week. Bennett hasn't let them down. The Roosters, at least, he's had 6 kicks, goes forward, the left footer. Beautifully crumbed by Burton, uses his pace close to the boundary line, and that's exactly where it'll go. Just touched beforehand. We'll have a throw in the forward pocket.
Good teamwork then by the goal umpire and the boundary umpire. The goal umpire right on the spot. That's Ron Chandler, the former Australian baseballer. North lead by 31 points. And we're 4 minutes into the second quarter. Can the Blues get back into this game? Hart working hard. Russell with the football. Oh, handball's a wild one. Back towards Klomp. Klomp sidesteps beautifully, then kicks towards goal, but the ball is kicked out of bounds on the full. And David Walk, number 13, who's just come onto the ground, will take the relieving free kick. David Walk. David Coops on the mark. Back towards the half-back flank. Klomp is there, thumps the ball away, and the ball goes out of play.
Almost 5 minutes played in the second quarter. Stephen Sims has been a live wire around the ground. Had 4 kicks with plenty of touches with the hands as well. Over the top. The kick away comes from Richter from half back toward the centre wing. Back behind the pack is Clisby. Again, there aren't the players around the fall of the ball for the double Blues that they had last week. They've really got to work at getting where it is. They're not reading it well in the air. Umpires John Hilton, David Trembath with the ball. Bennett in ruck now, taps it superbly. The kick by Hart with his 5th kick, only covered a couple of metres. In there, Simmons working hard, gets it back to Hart again, onto the left boot, the unnatural boot, around the body towards centre half forward, and a good mark taken in front by Cooch. Just onto the ground, toward the forward pocket. The lead provided by Arnold goes that way, and I think he's holding on to Burke. And the Sturt supporters are happy to get a free kick.
Let's have a look at Arnold again there. And, not happy with it, but the old fellow, that's the second free kick he's given away. Oh, high from behind Bennett. Third mark, doing it well. 5th handball, it goes to Hart. His kick across centre half forward. His target was Hill. Player got caught under it. First to it will be Bravo. Couldn't control it. Walk. Oh, Arnold down on top of him. Lucky he didn't give away all he has. And Paul Arnold just trying to find his feet in the forward line. 4 free kicks against him to date. David Walk with it along that eastern boundary line. Lean at front position. Lennon. Only his 3rd kick, and they need to see more of him. Caught with the ball was Blair by Radbone. Lean it now. Not a lot of support, but Lennon there. Backs up, they go forward. The double Blues. On a rare occasion, Riley in front manages to spoil. Blair pushes it out. Riley over the top of the ball. Ball held to him. And, well, there's a youngster. We're not having a good look at the footy, but wrapped up. Safe in Mum's arms.
The bounce down the outer side, taken by Clisby against Bartlett, and a free kick has gone which way? Will go the way of Clisby of North Adelaide. Thought about the handball. In fact, he's been called to play on. Kicks back towards centre wing. Bennett again there. Strike me, Peggy's on fire, Bennett. Onto his left boot. Kick number 7. Over towards half forward it goes. Atkinson, the little rover, uses his kick. The pace, should I say, with kick number 4. Up towards full forward, and a good mark has been taken by Arnold. His 4th mark, Arnold.
Oh, gee, that was a good kick, Ken, as it came around. Brody Atkinson was right on the boundary line and had someone right on his tail, and managed to get the ball around, not just in position, but enabling Arnold to mark. It's great.
Directly in front. Another goal to North Adelaide.
You see the mark taken by Paul Arnold. It was an easy one in the end. The placement of the ball was the important thing, and here we see it. Got pace, only 5'6" of him, Brody Atkinson, but around the body, right on the line, and put it up. That's plenty of strength in that kick. It covered a good 40 metres, and Arnold read it well, and from that position, almost anyone can kick a goal.
7-point advantage to the Roosters, something Higgins, Coach Kevin Higgins wouldn't have considered a possibility after his last 2 outings. They've been let down in the forward line, and Mike Redden now off the ground. It might give their fellows a bit of a chance in ruck. They've been beaten soundly in ruck. But it's the Roosters again through Clisby. They work it forward, but in the way is Whittlesey. Did that well. With his third kick, pushes them back towards centre wing. And beautifully over the top is Brodie Atkinson. Plenty of talent with his 5th kick. Towards half forward. Up underneath it. It's Tony McCarthy. Or at least Lennon. Got back well off his centre position to take that. 5th kick. Goes back towards centre wing. Lena comes from behind, but Brodie Atkinson again. And the little fella shouldn't be able to take a mark in front of a ruckman like that. Admittedly, the ball wasn't put well. The little fella sneaked in front. Kick not up to it, and Gribble just on the ground takes an easy mark.
Gribble plays on quickly towards Russell. His kick towards half forward. Oh, gee. Bravo has met late. Now they're calling for a 50-metre penalty kick, and he's got it. Well, they're consistent because the tackle was late. He took the mark and copped it.
Yes, I agree with you on that occasion, Ken. I don't know whether that is a 50-metre penalty. Oh, yeah, I think Sean Tasker wasn't up before he knew that the mark was going to be taken, so that was dead set 50 metres.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, Bucky. Now Bravo has the chance to boot Sturt's 2nd goal and his 2nd goal. So the big night for Bravo at the moment. If he kicks towards the golf course, it's a shocker, wobbles off the boot, into the pocket it goes and bounces out of play. 10 minutes into the 2nd quarter, it's North Adelaide 7-3-45, Sturt 1-2-8.
Shaking his head, Clinton Bravo. He held back on that kick. He didn't kick through it, and that's a cardinal sin of football. And kicking for goals, straight through the ball, and it's got to go through the goals. At least give it a chance. The tap down, Sotheby's in over the top of the ball, working hard, soccering it forward. The chance now for Atkinson, but under pressure, puts the ball out. He's a live wire, there's no doubt about him. He works hard.
He has a dip, Bucky, doesn't he?
Surely does. He's had 12 touches this evening and a couple of big high marks. For a little fella, that's good work. He's on the mark now. His opposition rover Shane Radbone with the ball. Too far out to score. Lead offered by Nusky up forward. Goes in that direction. There was about 50 players leaping for it there. Off it comes. Richter couldn't take it. In there over the top of the ball. Line it. Tries to get it out. Clisby as well. Eventually gets the handball to Atkinson. Made good ground to Riley, to Darren Jarman. And the short pass out of defence finds Burton on half-back flank.
Burton chips short to the lead of Hill. He might have found the boundary line instead. He has. It's out on the full. Wouldn't be happy with that. Nor was Hill. So Bartlett from centre wing through the centre of the ground. The lead was on by Klump. He couldn't complete it. He threw strongly. Clisby with his 5th kick. Strong defensive work as he puts it back towards half-back. Sims goes down. Russell off the ground. Coops to Klump. Back to Coops. Want to get his kick in quickly. He does to goal. 2nd kick, his 1st goal.
Well, that was super work on that occasion. We see North Adelaide working the ball out of the packs. The handball from Klump goes to Coops again. He straightens up towards the lake end, and he made no mistake. That's very, very good football.
Ken, he really did have too much time to kick the ball then. 2 opposition players, 2 Sturt players were there in position to either smother the ball or do something about it. He had 3 or 4 paces before he kicked the ball, and he should not have had that much leeway. Well,
North Adelaide giving Sturt a lesson at the moment. They go to 8-3-51. Sturt 1-2-8 back in the middle. With umpire Jack Hilton. You're watching our live coverage on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Almost 13 minutes into the 2nd quarter. Test of character tonight for the Double Blues. The bounce. Again, North Adelaide win the tap through Bennett. He's played a super game. Bartlett with the crumbs. Back towards Bennett. That man again, and he's marked it. Well, he's everywhere tonight. He's like the Scala Pimpernel. 8th kick and 5 marks. Not a bad performance. Sims pulled off the football. Players working hard out there. Hart, body over the football. Nose almost touching the ground. A chance again now for Coops into the pocket. It goes, and Atkinson. Well, he's playing superbly too, of course, coming from Port Pirie, and Clisby's in trouble behind play. And I guess Bucky, Mike Nunan would be enjoying the performance of young Atkinson.
He surely has done well. As we said, this is his 13th touch, and he's lining up for goal. He's only about 30 metres out. He's on an acute angle. Drops the ball awkwardly, but the umpire says it's through.
Brodie Atkinson involved in everything at the moment. I wonder where these opposition rovers are. It's the back pocket on this occasion, but nowhere to be seen. A test for the youngster. About his 60-degree angle. Absolutely no problems with that at all as Paul Arnold claps. And through goes his first goal. 15 minutes into the second quarter.
Back in the middle, down goes the bounce. Reynolds against Bennett. Taken by Radbone, kicks up towards the pocket, it goes. Coming out is John Riley. The ball sits for him, he pushes it in front of him towards the band line. Will he get a free kick? Yes, he will. And by John Hilton right on the spot. John Riley, Dr. John Riley with the football now in the back pocket. Comes towards centre wing. Reynolds up high, so does Simon Hill. Back towards Reynolds. Richter. Alexander smothered the ball, lost it again. In goes Jarman, Darren Jarman, snared by Reynolds. Here's a chance now for the Blues. Through Bartlett, up towards centre-half forward it goes. In front and a mark, good mark on that occasion to Sotheby. At centre-half forward, he's about 50 metres from goal, directly in front, going towards the golf course end.
Was a good mark by Sotheby, put himself in front. And we've had a note about Mick Redden, jarred right knee, not serious, but he won't be coming back on. The kick for goal, wide to the forward pocket, well offline. Riley's back there and he's quite happy to see that go out of bounds. 9-3-57, North Adelaide, Sturt a 1-goal-2-8. 49-point margin, 15.5 minutes into this second quarter.
Just mentioned old John Riley there. Nuski hasn't had a touch on him. He's played him beautifully in comparison to last week, when Nuski was out on a lead every time, leading his opposition into the ball. Tonight, not on one occasion has he led Riley to the ball. He's done it beautifully, the old fella. And Bartlett coming off the ground in your screen. And replacing him is Clinton Bravo, the player that's kicked their only goal. Back with play, Painter on the ground fighting hard. David I comes out with it, runs straight into players. On that occasion, Lehman couldn't get through. Hard tries to battle his way out. And umpire John Hilton calls for a ball up. 16 minutes gone, second quarter. By 49 points, it's the Roosters.
Sturt into attack. And they convert. They barely need goals at the moment, trailing by 49 points. The handball out wide, or Tasker run into a brick wall. Kick back by Painter on that occasion, up towards the full forward it goes, off hands, Hart. Goes the way of Sims, back towards the half-back flank. Chance now for Sturt. Oh, it's heavy work out there. He was busted off the football. It's ended up with Jarman. Jarman back towards centre wing. It goes. Looking for Hill. He can't take the mark. Coming out there on that occasion was Gribble. Handball back to Reynolds. Over to McCarthy. And it's a shocker. Out of bounds on the full. Well, Jason Blair, number 33 there for North Adelaide. Passes the ball back. It'll be taken by Jarman.
Sturt certainly last week used the ball a lot better than that, but they kicked so long last week. That was their forte in their win. In fact, both of their wins, long kicking. Tonight they've tended to go short, but North Adelaide have beaten them to the ball as well. Well, a pack of players formed down there at centre half forward, or just near that area. Umpire David Trembath to bounce. Live at Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Monday night football. Into a pack it goes again. The umpire's forced to come in. Trembath again to bounce. It's about 45 metres from goal.
A bounce. Umpire David Trembath. And John Hilton in control. Too high was the call by umpire Trembath. About 45, 50 metres from goal. Clomp with the ball. Want his best to kick it from there. Not the longest kick on the ground. But the pressure right off of North Adelaide with his third kick. Chip short, it's a beautiful lead. Not a bad kick. Arnold couldn't complete it. Coming out with it, Miller to walk. And they defend well, the double Blues. They really need to stop North Adelaide from scoring and start to put a few away themselves. Painter tries to chip short across to Lennon. Goes too far. Sims. Russell drops it. Atkinson goes to goal for his second. With his ninth kick offline. And North Adelaide now 9-4-58. They lead Sturt 1-2-8. We've played nearly 19 minutes of the second quarter at Football Park.
North have put Sturt under an enormous amount of pressure tonight, and sadly from Sturt's point of view they have been able to handle it. Burke with the kick-off goes to the outer side, looking for Miller and finds that player. Outer side, half-back flank. Can they get some method in their movement? Back towards centre wing. Bennett is there. Can he take the mark? No, but he'll get the free kick. It's a high tackle. Well, this man's best on ground by 500 miles at the moment. He's in superb touch. 15 possessions so far for the game. A long kick back towards centre half forward it goes. Off hands. Russell is there. Pushes the ball out cleverly. That's towards Painter. He'll use the football. He's had a quiet one tonight. He's a better player than we're seeing tonight. I think his fourth kick. That's Grivell coming away with the football now. Back towards centre wing. Thumped away. Ball to ground. Taken on occasion by Lehman. Klomp head down in the bottom of the pack. There's one thing he doesn't lack, and that's courage, Klomp. He goes in and takes the heavy body. Umpire John Hilton to call for a bounce.
You can't underestimate the value of that, Ken. Getting the ball first, even if you don't get it out, it doesn't give the opposition any chance, and that's the trouble. North Adelaide have used every opportunity to either stifle or get the ball tonight. They've been first at it. It's wide toward the half-back area. Jason Blair is there, and he's carried it across the line. Coming up to the 20-minute mark of the second quarter, a 50-point margin in favour of the Roosters. Boundary throw in. Bennett tries to take it, almost succeeds over the top of it. In their Tasker, the handball back to Sims. High kick, almost covers 10 metres. In fact, it does. Darren Jarman, difficult catch, couldn't quite take it. Over the top of the ball. Miller, good holding the ball. Free kick. Simmons, in fact, was the player. Pretty tough free. And the umpire's given a 50-metre penalty here. Now, Neville, I didn't see that. I didn't see what the reason was for. But it's 50 metres and has brought the player within goal.
Well, the danger of this 50-metre penalty is exactly what we're seeing here tonight. We saw it with Redden. Now we're seeing it with Alexander. It's brought players completely out of range within goal and can affect the result.
Stephen Alexander toward goal. The Blues desperately need one. One goal, not 1 point.
I'm not really a supporter of this 50-metre penalty, and I just think it gives the umpires another decision to make with far too much power. As we end half-time here at Football Park in the Foundation Cup, and North Adelaide just doing it easily. No pressure at all, and there's Kevin Higgins. He's got plenty to think about at half-time.
Yes, he certainly has, Neville. They've been outclassed by North Adelaide. Their pressure's been magnificent by North Adelaide. Running players at the fall of the ball, Hart, Klomp, Jarman have played superbly, but the game's been controlled by the big man. That's Peter Bennett. A superb game by the big man.
So at half-time, the margin 49 points. North Adelaide 9-4-58. Sturt 1-3-9. We'll take a break and be back with more football in the second half shortly.
And welcome back to Football Park at half-time. The Roosters big leaders there, 9 goals, 4-58, leading Sturt 1 goal, 3-9, and Kevin Higgins wouldn't be pleased about that. The main goal kickers for the Roosters, Bennett's had a superb game. He's booted 2, and the sole goal kicker for the Double Blues is Bravo. Joining me now, the chief football writer of the Advertiser, Ashley Porter. And Ashley, disappointing Sturt side tonight.
Yeah, it is disappointing, but at the same time, Sturt has played well the past 2 weeks. And to me, it's not entirely unexpected because they have been on a high. North Adelaide has been on the rebound after a disappointing effort last week.
Yep.
Previous week, they beat Port Adelaide convincingly. And I think tonight it was expected that North would bounce back. And Daryl Hart's superb game tonight.
What about Peter Bennett's game in the ruck? He's played magnificent.
Peter Bennett, and of course Michael Redden went off with a jarred knee. And Peter Bennett, I think, is one of the most accomplished players and perhaps one of the most underrated players in South Australian League football for some years.
And actually, we certainly have a very interesting competition in the Foundation Cup now. Let's look at results, of course, so far in round 3. And West Adelaide surprisingly beat Norwood at Footy Park on Friday night.
How can you pick that one?
Well, you can't, can you?
But West Adelaide, they're a team of goers, and full credit to Kevin Morris because he's got new talent to work with. And I've got a lot of respect for Kevin because he's working very hard with the side and the West Adelaide administration. Good luck to him.
And the Tigers, too good there for the Eagles. I thought the West Torrens side was disappointing.
It was disappointing, but in my opinion, Glenelg will play off in the grand final against Norwood this year.
Oh, here we go. Port Adelaide just got home against South Adelaide, and talking to their coach, Johnny Reid, today, he was quite happy with their performance, so it would suggest that South are going to be very competitive.
I think they are going to be competitive because John Reid is the right type of coach for South Adelaide. Every week they're going to have a go, and they may not make the final 5 in the major season, but they're going to have a strong influence on it.
Well, actually, you saw the game yesterday at Balaclava between Woodville and the Bulldogs, and the Bulldogs, of course, lost their 3rd Foundation Cup game. Disappointing, obviously.
Very disappointing in the sense that we're talking last week about Neil Curley, you know, a man that's been so strong in South Australian League football, and having a side that doesn't possess enough heart. And that
That's a strong comment, Ashley.
It is strong comment.
Ooh.
But at the same time, you look at Central District. This time last year, they were disappointing in the Foundation Cup series, yet competed in the major round competition. But
you don't think he's using different tactics this year? Like the last 2 years, they've compounded in the major round. He's had him up very early this year. He hasn't had such a heavy pre-season.
No, I think that Neil Curley would have been expecting a top effort yesterday, and it was very disappointing. They started well early. Robert Hanley was magnificent on the half-back flank, but Woodville, while they won through persistence. I still believe that they lack 1 or 2 players before being a final 5 contender, but they won through persistence. Good luck to them. You know, they worked hard, but Central District, they had chances but didn't make opportunities.
Well, there we see the premiership table, of course. Sturt, up until tonight, the only undefeated side in the competition. Now, of course, if North get up tonight, that does make it very interesting. We're, 6 sides have a chance of playing off. That's an incredible competition.
And what a fantastic situation we have. And it's old cliche again, Ken. Good for football.
It is.
But it's terrific for Sturt. Before we go, Ken, I've got to tell you some bad news. You're going to have to get your last £1 note out of the closet because I believe that the South Australian National Football League is going to start another player retention lottery. $2 a ticket, so you're going to have to bring that £1 note out. We're just waiting for, we're going to wait for confirmation from
I'll bring mine out if you bring yours out.
Oh, when I was a kid, we were in dollars and cents.
Thanks very much, Ashley. OK, well, let's look at the games coming up, of course, on Friday night. I'll forget Mr Porter. South Adelaide playing Sturt. That should be a good game. First time we'll see South under lights here at Football Park. In the late game, West Torrens versus the Bulldogs. We'll come back with more footy. Minus Ashley Porter right after the break. Welcome back to Football Park, and there you see the prize money in the Foundation Cup, certainly worth winning. $30,000, second prize $20,000, and so it goes down the sides between 5th and 10th, $8,500 each. Rocky Roberts, what can Kevin Higgins do?
Well, I don't think he can do a heck of a lot himself. He can only talk to him.
Hasn't he rung the changes, which is understandable?
Yes, I think he's made some changes. He's put Leonard to centre half forward. He's taken Whittlesey off half forward, put him to a half back flank, where he was very successful last week when he was rushed into the side to replace McCarthy. But all he can really do, Ken, is have a chat to them at half time and tell them that whilst their form's been pretty good, it's been good because they've been doing certain things, and they're not doing them tonight. And one of the lessons in footy you learn is that unless you initiate it and make it happen every week, every time, the ball game's over. And they're young, they've got to learn those things, and Kevin Higgins will be telling them all about it right now, I would think.
Well, talking about young players from North Adelaide's point of view, young Troy Lehman, there's some big raps about him at North Adelaide. Have you seen his performance so far tonight?
He's been good. He's been in everything. He's been a good crummer. He reads the ball beautifully. On this occasion, crumbed the ball magnificently. He was protected there by Arnold. Took it nicely with one grab, open goal. Made no mistake at all. Good young player, plenty of future there.
Yes, and of course the man who has controlled the game tonight has been the big ruckman, Peter Bennett. I've never seen Peter Bennett play so well as he is tonight.
No, he's doing a good job tonight, rucking with Redden, and of course Redden's gone off injured, and he's really come up to scratch and taken over from Mike Redden, and between them the two big men have absolutely dominated and made life very, very tough for their Sturt counterparts.
And he's going to be a very important player, as he has been in the past, Neville, but I think this year more so, Peter Bennett's going to be a vital player for the Roosters.
Well, indeed he is. They're the sort of side that they've relied so much on their crummers and their round ball players, and now Andrew Jarman's gone, and of course another high flyer, Smart's gone to Norwood. This player's going to be very important for him, in front of goal and around the ground.
Have you seen Sotheby's performance tonight in the forward pocket for Double Blues? In recent weeks he's been pretty good. Yeah,
not bad. It's one of that group of young players who've come into the side and done a fair bit. He's playing out of a forward pocket, can play on the ball, can take a mark over here, as we saw there. Good young player, but like the rest of them, they've got to make it happen again.
Well, before we go to Graham Campbell, Neville, we've just been told that Kevin Higgins has been pretty busy at the moment in Darwin recruiting, and he had to rush back for tonight's game.
They've been pretty active, more active than in other years in their recruiting, and of course Darwin's produced some good players, and whilst the players are a short supply from Victoria, I guess they're looking to other places like the ACT, Victorian Country and Darwin. Hope they find some.
OK, let's go to a man now who tipped the Roosters tonight, Mr. 1 to 10, Graham Campbell.
Nice choice, Graham.
Well, thank you, Ken. Monday night's always my night, you know that. Ken, I've got Simon St Auden here, a man who's become an integral part of the North Adelaide backline, but not playing tonight. What's the reason, Simon?
I've got a few problems with my back at the moment, Graham.
Yep.
It's something I've had about the last 3-4 years. It's a fairly controllable sort of problem, but it's better not to risk it in these sort of games.
How long will you miss, do you think?
Hopefully it'll be just this game.
Now, sorry.
Just see how it goes in the next week.
Well, last year you really grabbed a spot in the North Adelaide back line as a permanent back pocket, more times than not. Do you hope to be a key position player this year?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Full back?
Yeah, full back, that'll be fine. I don't really care where I play as long as I get a game.
Well, I've got to say this. I think Michael Nunan's got your earmark for full-back. He's playing Paul Arnold, forward of centre now. That's pretty obvious. So the full-back spot looks wide open to me.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like so far. I've played both the games there at full-back, and at the end of last year I played most of the last few games at full-back. All depend on how the other side's lined up.
Sure. Now, we were talking about your years at North Adelaide. You started in '85. That surprised me.
Yeah, that's right. I've had a few ups and downs in my football career. It took me really until last year to really get myself into gear as far as fitness and just playing out attitude. And
getting a regular spot.
That's right.
How many league games up now, Simon?
Oh, it's around about 40.
Right. And young players tonight. Brody Atkinson's caught our attention.
Yes, he's certainly been right at it, and he's taken a couple of big marks against the big fellas as well, which, well, when they actually mark it, it looks very good, but he's got to keep marking if he goes for it. But no, he's always at it, very quick, and he's really come on.
Well, Michael's rung a few changes in the side tonight. Simon Hill, centre half forward, also has bobbed out of the ground. Well, he played one game last year, I think.
Yeah, he played one game. It was in the wet, and he didn't really get much of a run.
Right.
But tonight he's taken a couple of very strong grabs there at centre half forward. And I've been quite impressed with the way his level of competitiveness has been.
Great. Simon, good luck with the knee, and may you be playing again next Saturday. Is it next Saturday or what?
Monday.
Monday.
It is, yeah.
Right. Good luck.
Thanks, Graham.
And welcome back to Football Park for the second half of the game between North Adelaide and Sturt. At half-time, it's North Adelaide 9-4-58. Sturt 1-3-9. Umpire David Trembath asking the respective captains, are they happy to start the game? He'll hold the ball off. There he goes. Your caller is Bucky Cunningham.
It's very important for the Sturt side, the start of this third quarter. The youngsters have to really get in there and do something in the first moment or two. Lienit's in there working hard, gets it wide to McGlashan, who goes long and deep into the forward pocket area. In front, that was good work by Nusky. Hasn't been in front a lot tonight. Now he's got it. The handball across. He was looking for Alexander. Sutterby was there and he put his hand in and spoiled what could have been a promising move toward goal. But at least the Double Blues have got it up into the scoring area, and that's important. And they must work hard. Live at Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sport. Margin 49 points in favour of the Roosters. Clisby, the handball away. In there, picked up Alexander around the body, but well wide and out of bounds on the full. A free kick in that back pocket to North Adelaide.
Blair, with North Adelaide well in control, he'll take them out of defence. At least out of deep in defence. Lena couldn't held it, should have. Riley had a good night tonight. Held Nusky scoreless to Sims. Through the centre of the ground, great diving mark by Klomp. They're in front and they're at the ball, North Adelaide. They'll be hard to stop from here. Chips backwards to Jarman. His kick wide to Lehman. Plenty of pace, this youngster, as he chips around the corner. Gives it to Brodie Atkinson. Great pick up on that occasion. And a good tackle by Russell. Good football by both young players. Centre of the ground. Another throw-in. We've played 1 minute of this third quarter at Football Park.
Yeah, there's some exciting players in South Australia, some exciting young players. Lehman, Atkinson, just to mention a few that we've seen in this Foundation Cup competition as the ball is forced once again out of play right in front of the grandstand here at Footy Park. Ideal night for footy. Sturt struggling to get back into this game. Down to the umpire. About to bring the ball back into play. Lienit takes the football, then runs away, gives a handball. Bravo, back towards the half-forward flank it goes. Up goes the pack, thumped away, taken by Sims, supported by Hart. Hart kicks towards half-forward. North Adelaide's turn to go into attack. Up high went Leonard. He started this third quarter far more aggressively, but great stuff by Klomp. Worked extremely hard. Gave it to Atkinson, who had a great first half. He scored with the football, gets a handball away. Working hard was Lehman on that occasion, but more aggression and more urgency about the Sturt side in the opening moment to this third quarter, Bucky.
Yes, they are working harder at the body, Ken, and that's what they've got to do. Tackle hard. Boundary throw in. Lienit from behind. Bennett in front got the tap down. Hart couldn't take it. Coming away field across to Whittlesea to Painter. Manages to get boot to ball to centre half forward. Lennon could take the mark there. Didn't. Clisby, his opponent. Lennon has been shifted to centre half forward, it seems. Clisby over the top of the ball, and Bruce Lennon's down and not looking at all well. Meanwhile, North Adelaide come away with Bennett's kick wide. Bond was out there, couldn't take the mark. Picked up and handballed over. The chance for Nusky. Should have taken that on the first grab. Had to handball it back. Working hard and kicking the ball forward. Sutterby the diving mark. And Bow was the player who kicked it in. And the stretcher being called for Lennon. He has not moved from that centre half forward position.
Be guessing to know what's the matter with him. It might well be a shoulder the way he went in. But Simon Sutterby only has 1 point. To his credit, this will be his third kick. The boy from the Geelong reserves. No problem with that one as he kicks his first.
Here we see Clisby. We'll watch what happens to Lennon as he comes in late, throws his body. It could be his knee, I think. I think it went the wrong way. That's very, very sad if it is in fact his knee, because the kids played superbly up until tonight. So it would appear as though young Bruce Lennon may have hurt a knee. Let's hope that it's not a bad one.
And Bruce Lennon being carried off the ground, and that's a shame. Let's have a look at the incident. Clisby is over the top of the ball. Lennon comes in. As he comes in, watch that left knee as it goes around now. In fact, it was the right knee, I think. It was. The right knee twisted around, and that's a real shame as he grabs for it. And that's a loss to Sturt, a very sad loss. Bruce Lennon's been in tremendous form in the first couple of games of Foundation Cup. He's been carried off the ground and play being halted for that moment.
There are times in football when you see injuries like that, it's worse than nails scratching across a blackboard or grinding teeth. It really makes you feel a little ill and very uneasy. He'd be in a lot of pain.
And that's a tragedy, Rocky, because the kid had played superbly in the first two opening Foundation Cup games, and he's a bright young player, and if this to happen, it's an absolute tragedy.
Well, it is, and it's a tragedy for this game as well, as North Adelaide 9-4-58 leaves Sturt behind them 2-3-15. And mark my words, we'll be talking about this incident a long way in the season. Doesn't make any difference to Alexander, but a great tackle. Jason Blair, you won't see much better than that. He was stopped in his tracks, young Alexander. Again.
Look at this tackle. This is absolutely a fantastic tackle. Tackling at its best.
Too right it was. Burton brings the ball back across the centre of the ground. Underneath it there. The North Adelaide was Bond. He goes quickly on, gives it to Lehman. His kick towards half-forward. Hill takes front position, did it beautifully. Wound his way around Bravo on that occasion. Found front position. The kick's not up to the grab, though. Off the side of the boot. Beautifully crumbed by Burton. Chips it across the face of goal. First tilt, if it sits for him, it does. He's got McGlashan loose. Takes it with one hand, does it nicely. Has time to have a look, goes up through the centre of the ground. McCarthy underneath it. Bodied out of the way on that occasion by Simmons. Steadies, in a bit of trouble. And Alexander, great tackle, equal to the one he had put on him as McCarthy goes into the forward line. Out in front, Sotheby takes a nice mark on the chest.
Well, Sturt coming back at North Adelaide in this third quarter. Sotheby here diving, taking a fine mark. But there's a lot more pressure being applied by the Sturt side, and they're hitting the ball a lot harder.
That's right, they are. He kicked their last. One of the few Sturt players who was meeting the ball out of the forward line. Well, they needed that one.
Just the 1 point on the board. North 9-4-58. Sturt go to 2-4-16. Still a big margin. And waiting for the ball to come in. From full back, Ashley Bond from Southport in Queensland. Kicked 5 goals last week, playing at full back this week. That's a good mark to Blair. The tackler before. He's on half-back flank. Jason Blair, with his fourth kick, runs away towards centre half-back, puts the ball into the centre of the ground. The kick not well directed, and David Eye has taken the mark. Decides to play on quickly. Fifth kick, wide, has got Radbone, should have taken the mark. Blair has mopped it up again. He's working hard. Radbone comes in now. He's in the forward pocket deep. Has to go back with the handball to Whittlesey. Then the handball across was good. The kick by Field, long toward the goal face, but well offline. Was never going to be a goal. And 1 point, the result doesn't help the Sturt Blues.
Their endeavour's a lot better, and they're at the ball a bit more in numbers. But the pressure and the intensity by North Adelaide is very good. Not giving them a clear kick at the ball, not allowing them to steady. They're going to have to force their run, force the spaces, get people with the ball. McGlashan through. Loses his feet, and David Trembath will take the ball back and have a bounce. Umpires tonight, John Hilton and David Trembath. It's North Adelaide by 41 points.
Bounce down, 8 minutes into the third quarter. Working hard, Alexander pulled off the football. Hart there, nose almost touching the ground as he puts his body over the footy. Kick number 9, a high one, back towards the half-back flank, Whittlesey. Been pretty quiet by his standards tonight, Greg Whittlesey. His fourth kick. Up towards full forward it goes. Mopped up by John Riley. He's played a superb game in defence tonight. He really has. Scotty Field made a mistake. In fact, it may have been Bauer. Gee whiz, and the kicking in danger. And the free kick will be taken by Eye.
We have a look at it. Darren Jarman put the boot in, and David had his fingers there, and that happens in footy a lot. And one of those things you get an easy free kick for. It's nothing better than that in front of goal. It's worth all the pain.
So David Eye with a chance now to put Sturt's third goal on the board, and boy oh boy do they need it. 9 minutes into the third term. A long kick, it'll get the distance, but it certainly won't get the accuracy. And Sturt have had their chances in this third quarter, the opening moments. They go to 2 goals, 6-18. North 9-4-58. You're watching the game live from Footy Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
There's 4 shots for goal in this quarter, with 1 major on the board. Bennett, too strong in the air, and has been all night. His 6th mark. 11th kick toward the centre wing area from behind. Good work by Hill. Got it across. The chance for Klomp, always working hard. Almost across to Marshall. Whittlesey working hard. Radbone as well. Whittlesey out towards Eye. Sims went at the body and missed. Eye is in there. Bauer does it well. He's strong in the body, but always got caught with it and caught holding the ball. And again, the tackling is just superb. Marshall. Marshall is on half-back flank. A couple of players not real happy with each other. Eye and Sims not particularly pleased. It comes to Lehman. Lehman kicks it wide. Cook sharp at centre-half forward. Takes the mark. Plays on quickly to Tasker. Tasker onto the left boot. One-on-one again. Arnold in front uses the body well. Well thumped away. Comes to ground. The handball away. Wasn't good by Walk. In fact, the effort by Atkinson was great.
So the game a little bit hotter now as Sturt put their body over the top of the ball, making an effort, trying to take the initiative away, but the Roosters right up to it on Nine's Widewater Sports. You're live at Footy Park. At the throw-in, Linnett from behind, punches it down. Off the ground, Russell. David Eye gets it out to Painter. Been quiet, the veteran, tonight. We'll probably get a lot more touches now. That's only his sixth kick as he comes to centre wing. Crumb is Clisby. Lehman. Chip short is good. The Roosters keep possession. Burton wants to go on with it. Lehman runs through. No one takes him on as he chips back across the centre. Reading it well is Burke. And, there's my compatriot in the background screams in my ear. It's 50 metres. They heard you, Ken. And they've done it well.
Rocky, I reckon Arnold's been a bit undisciplined at full forward. He's given away 2 or 3 free kicks tonight.
Backmen are like that, Ken. It's, all forwards get picked on, you know that. Jason Blair to Lehman. High again. Burton couldn't control it with one hand. Linnett does the crumming. As he kicks it, pushed off balance, but a beautiful grab taken by Alexander. We saw plenty of him last week, and he does it pretty well.
This game's really come alive in the third quarter. It's a good contest. Sturt are really at the ball in this term as he kicks towards half forward. Over the top, Clisby. Chance for McCarthy. Tapped out towards Painter. In goes Field again. And umpire David Trembath will call for a bounce. North Adelaide 9-4-58. The Double Blues 2-6. Umpires John Hilton. That's David Trembath about to bounce the footy. Down it goes. Bennett over the top towards Atkinson, who's played a good game. In goes McCarthy. Out goes McCarthy. Clont, watch him charge through the pack. He won't sidestep. No way. Onto the left boot. Goes out wide. A chance for Bauer now for the Double Blues. Can he pick it up? He can. Had good vision out of the eye. He saw on that occasion Gribble. Gribble being pursued on that occasion by Marshall. Back towards Clomp. North Adelaide too skillful at the moment. Here's Jarman. Watch him go. He's a magician, this guy. Kick number 10 towards half forward. Simon Hill, I've been very impressed with him. Back towards Jarman again. Oh, Burton there. Should have taken the mark. Dropped a mark he should have taken. A free kick. No, not paid. Hard with the foot. He's sat upon on that occasion. Gee, it's heavy work in the pocket. Atkinson's there. So is Walk. He loses the football. Coops has run down. Gee, it's heavy stuff out there, I can tell you. Taken by Burton around his body towards goal, but he's missed. North Adelaide 9-5-59. Sturt 2-6-18.
Yes, they worked it hard, but the defence of Sturt was much better then. They are tackling harder in this quarter, making it not so easy for the North forwards. They can't get free. And, of course, when that's the case, points like that result. The kick in. Toward Linnett, got his hands to it high, over the back, in fact a push out, and Brett Linnett will take the free kick at centre half back. Big fellows worked hard in ruck, using the boot polish tonight, 2 around his eyes. The kick wasn't good, it didn't give Richter much chance. Lehman comes through. He's got pace with his 9th kick toward the half-forward area. Darryl Hart, an easy one, was the only player at the ball. Plays on quickly, lines up the goals. With his 10th kick, puts it up toward the goal square area. The ball will bounce through for a minor score.
And a notable point about the Roosters is that every time there's a contest, all their players or players in the vicinity are pushing hard to get to the footy. There's the scoreline, 60-18. It's not a contest at the moment. Whereas Sturt have just started doing it in the third quarter, but they're still being outnumbered at the ball. And despite their efforts, if they can't get numbers there, they certainly won't win their fair share. Simmons onto Clomp, been in everything. Clomp, so's this fella, Brody Atkinson. Plenty of cool there, tried to chip it short to Sims. A little bit long for that player. Coming through strongly was Bravo. Took their first goal in the first quarter. Kim Russell with a bit of pace. His 5th kick is towards half forward, but it's absolutely to nobody, except to Bennett. He's nobody for North Adelaide, of course, but the wrong place. Short to Clomp. Kicks at will, this player, as he plays on. No pressure there, his 15th touch. through the centre of the ground. Hill up from centre half forward. Takes it and want to get on with it quickly. The left footer. He pushes it on to Blair from behind over Alexander. And he's come right down from half back. Have a look at this. From behind. Good body work. Just a little bit too high for Alexander. 50 to 55 metres out, just a little bit long. It comes in high. From behind was Burton, couldn't take it. Off the ground, Coops, 1 point only.
15 minutes in. And it's North Adelaide 9-7, 61, Sturt 2-6-18. Whilst it hasn't reflected on the scoreboard in this third quarter, Sturt have certainly played better footy. Back towards the grandstand side it comes. Oh, good mark by Lehman. No, not paid. Call of play on. Richter picks up the football. Dribbles a kick taken by Klopp. Went in head first as usual. Richter again in there. But this time umpire John Hilton will call for a bounce. I tell you what, Bucky, Kim Klomp would put his head where I wouldn't put my boot.
He's always done that, Ken, and that's why he's such great value. And he's had a lot of injuries as a result of that, but he's worked hard and cemented a place in a great side. 43 points, North Adelaide. Clisby breaking through the game at centre half back, goes wide towards Sims. Sims, the short pass on the lead was hard, but in front, good defence. The mark taken by Kim Russell. And a 50-metre penalty against Darryl Hart, and that one was on because he went well over the mark. Umpire John Hilton brings the player on the mark, Darryl Hart, back almost to the centre of the ground. Russell doesn't use it, goes towards centre half forward. The push out was obvious. Two Sturt players there. Alexander was the player who pushed Simmons in the back. Simmons the free kick to Tasker. Wide towards centre wing. Atkinson almost the mark, and he's been hit, and Bauer is not happy about it. If it wasn't a mark, it was a free kick. There he is. He's on centre wing. Hit pretty high around the head. The kick in towards centre half forward. Hill, the mark. Good player.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this bloke, Bucky. I really am.
Well, he's got a good mark, and he's had 5 of those tonight with his 5th kick. Centre half forward. He just gets into position. Gribble over the top of the ball. A quick kick away. Covers only a metre or two. Sims picks it up. Russell was the kicker. Came more. Beautiful work by Darren Jarman. Sidestepped. Put it up toward the goal. Hart gets back there, but in front again. The mark taken. The handball wasn't all that good. That came across from Russell to Bauer. He puts it wide. Oh, McGlashan was up high. Didn't take the mark. Big leap. And the little fella's there again. Puts it back toward the centre half forward area. The mark taken by Sims. Away he goes.
Sims with his 10th kick. Punches towards goal. Hard on a lead in front. Doing it well as Reynolds. Resting it in that back pocket. Pushes high towards grandstand side. The kick isn't good. Lehman eyes on ball. And we've seen some fantastic athleticism here tonight. Sims just enjoying a bit of humour. Back of the pack. Arnold there. Reynolds with him. And that leap of McGlashan's was just sensational. His feet touched Brodie Atkinson's head. And Arnold, John Hilton, he loves these summer games. Got a smile on his face, all in good humour. Burt, Field, one of their best last week, Field. Kicked a goal, and tonight only managed to point about 3 kicks. Burt in your screen. We'll have a bounce, only metres around from North Adelaide goal. Reynolds does the ruck work. Russell comes away with it. Out of bounds was the call before he got his boot to ball. Half forward for North Adelaide.
And Sims and Richter having a personal war between each other. If they get close to the football or close to each other, they like to sort of have a bit of a ding-dong, keeping the game alive. As we see the boundary umpire, Reynolds, Heel. Mike Nunan off the bench for some reason. I don't know what for, but he's off the bench. Atkinson working hard. He's a tiger, I can tell you. Taken on that occasion by Coops. Into the pocket it goes. Chance for Bauer. Which way will he go? Well, did it well, Bauer. Then flanked by McCarthy. It's on in the back pocket, I can tell you. As the ball goes to the centre wing. He watched the fights. Bucko call the footy. Simmons over the top. I seen him watch the fights, I think. Over towards the Jarman. Kicks towards half forward. Burton is there for North Adelaide. Into the pocket he goes. Kicks towards full forward, but it's all Sturt here. And David Walk takes the footy. Now the players have dispersed and Walk comes away with the ball. Back towards centre wing. Looking for Painter. Beautifully put. And a good mark to Johnny Painter.
Well done, John Painter. The handball across. River was the player coming through. Put it towards centre half forward. Almost the mark. And in fact, it's been paid to Burke. Firstly, the opponent. Burke has been shifted, it seems, to centre half forward. Puts the ball down to the full forward area. Over the top, Sotheby. At the back of the pack, Alexander. Can he have a shot at goal? Decides to handball the ball away to Sotheby. Sotheby looks up, has a look and puts it straight toward Bond. Bond decides to play on for some strange reason, but nevertheless, he's got away with it across to Tasker. And Tasker wide toward the centre wing area. And that's close to the boundary line. In fact, it's put out of bounds well by Marshall. It's interesting in that last little bit of play when the players were working in the forward pocket, Neville, that, when I say working, fighting, the coach down there just looked at it, Mike Nunan, and watched the play. Didn't have any bar of the fighting.
Oh, well, at Port Adelaide, you probably call that working, but it's North Adelaide. Michael probably didn't want to know about it. It's not something he probably teaches his people.
I just remember that one.
Not that you would like that, of course, Bucky. All skill. We're on centre wing with another bounce. Kim Klump, guess who? Bottom of the pack. He often is. Just telling David Trembath a little bit about umpiring. He's an expert, of course, Kim Klump. He's got the ball often enough, though, and that's all he has to do. 15 touches. What a great evening he's had. On court with the ball is Tasker. David, I enjoyed that. And no free kick. Full time off. We've played 21 minutes of this third quarter. And the Double Blues trailing by 43 points. John Hilton with the ball. In ruck was Hill. Off the ground, Bravo. Sims, quick hands to Blair. Now to Lehman. Sitting outside was Bennett. Been a bit quieter this quarter. Had a fantastic first half. Got the ball on there to Bond. This kick towards half forward, taken by Arnold off hands. Has Klump running through the centre of the ground. Back to Arnold. A bit quick for the old fella. In there, Lehman. McCarthy. And the umpire will ball up half forward for the Blues.
Almost 22 minutes into the third quarter. North Adelaide 9-7-61. Plays Sturt 2-6-18. Umpire Jack Hilton, one of the veterans of the umpiring fraternity. Over the top went Reynolds. Darren Jarman working hard. Finally comes out towards Coops. He'll kick a goal from here. Make no mistake about that. And it's home.
Good break. Good work by Cooks. He worked really hard for that. Darren Jarman, in fact, got the handball out. And very slick hands. He's over the top of the ball. No, it wasn't Darren Jarman. It came out from Marshall, in fact. Darren Jarman was there. Cooks toward the goal front. Straight at goal. It wasn't an easy one when you're full pace like that. Put it straight through the centre, and that's North Adelaide's first goal for the quarter.
So the Double Blues have done well this quarter. 2-6-18. They trail North Adelaide 10-7-67. Still a long way to go. The ball's going to be recalled by David Trembath. Wasn't happy with his bounce. He has the option to do that. At will. Have another try. Nothing wrong with that. It's perfect. With the knock was Reynolds. Eye fights hard, Hart with the hands, gets it out beautifully to Bennett. Well, guess who? Klump again as he punches the ball in long. Arnold's the target. Couldn't quite take it one hand. Coops off ground. And someone's been held. I thought it might have been kicking in danger. It's gone against Kim Russell. McCarthy's not happy. Let's watch it in replay. And he had hold of him, and there's no doubt about it. The umpire did very, very well to see that. Coops has two. Kicked their last. His seventh kick. The Roosters kick to glory.
The young Coops has played well in this particular quarter. Sturt have played a lot better than was the case in the first half, but they haven't been able to convert. That's been the problem with the Double Blues. And North Adelaide now, mainly through Bennett, Klump and their running players, have really taken complete control of this game. In fact, it was almost over at half-time, but the nail now is right in the coffin.
The margin 55 points in favour of the Roosters. Back in the centre, the bounce down. They go off the hands. Working hard was Burke trying to get it out. Sims in there as well. Puts it back to centre half forward for the Roosters. Leading in the race for the ball was Russell. Got boot to it. Out towards centre wing. Radbone has got pace, couldn't quite control. It's good work over the top of the ball. The North Adelaide by Blair. No, in fact, it wasn't Blair. It's Simon Hill working hard. The margin 55 points.
Stay with us. There'll be plenty more action after the break on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
So at three-quarter time. Welcome back to Football Park, and there you saw, unfortunately, a bad knee injury to young Bruce Nunan. We do believe he's suffering a strained right knee, but it will be assessed tomorrow to determine the damage. So let's hope it's okay. He's a fine young footballer. But three-quarter time, it's all North Adelaide here at headquarters. 11 goals, 773. Sturt very disappointing, 2 goals, 6. The main goal kickers, the Roosters, Coops 3, Bennett 2, and for the Double Blues, Sutterby and Brovo, each one each. Graham Campbell, just looking at Sturt's performance in that third quarter, I thought they played better, but they couldn't convert.
Yeah, quite true, Ken. I mean, they tried hard enough. No one can deny that. I think losing Bruce Nunan was a real tragedy for the side and probably didn't help the players' spirit towards the game. But let's face it, Ken, I think North Adelaide are in a different class tonight to Sturt. They've outscored them into the breeze twice now. That isn't easy to do down here. It's about a 4 to 5 goal breeze now, yet North have been able to outscore them into that self-same breeze.
And Graham, just looking at North Adelaide's game tonight, they've really put pressure on the Sturt side. They've played superbly, and at times Sturt haven't been able to handle that pressure.
Well, Ken, there's no question in my mind that Michael Noonan's hell-bent on getting a big thumping victory tonight. When you work it out, and I'm not very good at arithmetic, but Sturt before the game had a percentage of 61.77 and North had a percentage of 48.46. Now, given the fact North have got to win the match, if they can bring home a big thumping victory, they'll probably take the percentage that Sturt have and replace them at the top of the ladder. How silly is that?
Incredible situation. Graham, one player that's impressed me for North Adelaide tonight is young boy at centre half forward, Simon Hill.
Yep. No question. Can I said at half-time to Simon Nunan that this boy bobbed up from nowhere. Apparently, he played about half a game last year, as Simon said, on a wet track. It didn't suit the lad, being a long, spindly sort of a guy who would rely on marking as his forte, I would imagine. But tonight has been his night. Been a real good performance by the boy. And Michael Nunan's taken risks tonight, Ken. He's played blokes, well, a new chum like that at centre-half forward. He's played Paul Arnold at full forward. He's thrown things around a bit, yet he's come up trumps.
Good on you, Graham. That's Graham Campbell down among the players. We'll come back right after the break with more footage. Stay with us. There's the North Adelaide coach, Mike Nunan, in the leather jacket with Rod Sade, his runner. And there's Kevin Higgins. Well, what can Kevin Higgins do? Really stern face, Kevin Higgins, and I tell you what, Bucky, he had the attention of his players at three-quarter time. They weren't going to blink.
I was interested to see what they were doing down there, and they were looking very intently at what Higgins had to say, and it's a measure of a coach sometimes when you're in this position to see what control he has over the players, and the players really were worrying about what he said, and this is when sometimes players find out about coaches. It's Kevin Higgins' first chance with Sturt in this position.
Okay, there's the sign to start the final quarter. Your commentator is Rocky Roberts.
Can the Blues do something to save a bit of face? At least start to get some of their game going. Lead it with the knot, gets it away. Sims, as he so often does, takes it out of the centre and punches the Roosters for his 12th kick. Kim Russell gets a second crack at it, dropped it first off. Darren Bauer, the ex-Tiger player from Victoria, kicks short to McGlashan. McGlashan's kick towards centre wing. Lena does the crumbing. Shouldn't have to do that. Fellas like this should be there. Radbone around his body and high. David I in front, couldn't take it. Simmons at the back. Bennett gets it first, gives it to Clisby. Plenty of runners here with the ball. Tiller over the top. Lehman, forward they go. Arnold on a lead. That's not bad when they complete the play like that. Maybe a little far out to score, Arnold, as he chips back into Tiller. He completed the run. Nobody went with him.
Amazing, Rocky. He ran from the back pocket to the forward pocket to take that mark.
It's a great effort. And there he is in your screen. He'd love to kick one. His mate Paul Arnold, easy chest mark, has been up forward all night, and I don't think Davis too happy about that. Not bad in front of goal normally with his first kick. Not quite the distance as it's touched off hands. He adds to the score as the Roosters go along to 11-8-74. They lead the Double Blues 2-6-18.
Yes, the 287-game veteran David Tiller loves a shot at goals. He's gone back to his defensive position. The kick in, out wide, over the top, mark taken by Bond, who's well down from his full-back position, so he's having a chance up forward. Mike Nunan has thrown the North Adelaide side around in this last quarter. Ashley Bond, 5 goals last week, puts it up toward the goal square. That's a strong kick, and it's hit the post. Well, it deserved better than that. He was a good 50 metres out from goal. Wind assisted, admittedly, but a good kick by Ashley Bond, but only 1 point to score. 11-9 plays 2-6.
Only 2 minutes into this final quarter. The Double Blues, well, truly the task ahead of them. And again, 4 marks he's taken. Very similar position to where he last kicked the ball. He might try and chip off short this time. He does. Just a little loose as Bennett takes that one. He's had 8 marks, featured well as a big man. Umpire Trembath wants to realign him, make him kick over his mark. He might have just called play on in that situation. He'll bring the ball back, and Peter Bennett will have to go back and kick over his mark. Whittlesey is on it. Number 1 draft choice for the Hawks in Victoria, but I don't think they'll see him in season 90. Bennett puts it up high. A little wide with his 13th kick. Another point for the Roosters, 76. They lead the Double Blues 2-6-18.
3 minutes into the final term. It'll be David Walk to bring the football back into play. North Adelaide have been very, very impressive tonight. Smaller players have controlled the air. Redden early, Bennett for most of the game. Now Bond, of course, chipping in with a couple of big marks at the opening moments of this final term. Walk looking for leads. Finally goes towards Leonard. With him is Bond. Can he take his 3rd mark? No, he decides to spoil, thumps it away, and the ball goes out of play. Radbone there and Sims.
I was pleased to see that he went for the thump then, Ken, because he had a couple of marks, and when your confidence is up like that, you tend to go for every one, and it was good discipline to see him thump it away.
Leonard. Simon Hill, who's been very impressive at centre-half forward tonight for North Adelaide. The handball by McCarthy goes the way of Walk. He goes out wide. Looking out there from McGlashan, and McGlashan takes the mark. McGlashan now a chance to boot Sturt out of defence. Centre wing he goes, looking out there for Burke. With him is Clisby. Burke working hard. Russell's in there as well, but the ball is paddled out of play. Centre wing out of side. 4 minutes into the final term. You're watching this game live on Nine's Wide World of Sports.
76 plays 18. Boundary throw-in. Hill in ruck. Lean it. Up high, gets the tap down. The soccer off the ground by Darren Jarman, only a few metres. The umpire's seen a free kick, and it's going to the Sturt player in the back pocket in David Walk. I don't know what it was for, but he's put it into the centre, holding the ball, KG tells me. He keeps an eye on those umpires. The quick kick around the body. Bond. Sims through centre half forward, lines the goals up, puts it up toward the goals goal. That's a clever kick. A real good kick from Stephen Sims. Had the chance to go at goal and just dragged it around with the left boot and gave the chance for Arnold, in the end, an easy chest mark for Paul Arnold. 6th mark to Paul Arnold. 15 to 20 metres out on the angle with his 5th kick, and that's a goal.
Well, Paul Arnold did what some forwards do when they know the player upfield's got a lot of time. He went to one of the most difficult spots, and that was on Sims's left foot. He let out to Sims's right, or Arnold's left, and put Sims under enormous pressure to get that ball across his body. He did it beautifully, made it easy for the former fullback. His stint in front of goals has been pretty creditable.
Back with umpire Jack Hilton. About to put the footy down. Normally a very good bouncer of the ball. That's no exception. Look at that, straight as a gun barrel. Lena got the tap away, but it's stolen by Jarman. He's in trouble. Weaves out of trouble. In fact, the free kick paid to advantage. Goes towards Simmons. Half forward he goes, but the ball beats Bond out of play in that position.
Ken, you get a little bit excited about a nice bounce.
Thank you, Rocky. I see him too often these days. He's probably the best bouncer of the football in Australia. Jack Hilton, there he is. Throw in, over the top went Leonard, down towards Bond. Gribble working hard, Sims in there also. But umpire Hilton will call for a bounce, and there's the youngster having a night out, nice and warm with mum, and very relaxed. That's how it should be, mum and a little daughter. Bond, Miller, and the ball goes out of play. 6.5 minutes into the final term. It's North Adelaide 12-10-82, Sturt 2-6-18 live at Footy Park.
That's a margin of 64 points. 19 points at quarter time. That's just been extended ever since. 49 points at half time in favour of the Roosters. 55 at three-quarter time, and they're still going ahead with it. And some pretty happy supporters. Got to be North Adelaide supporters, surely. Pretty warm too. Bounce down. The ball's at half forward for North Adelaide. Still trying to get it out. On the ground, Simon Prosser is at the bottom of that pack. He'll hand it back to Jack Hilton, and another bounce. Joined tonight, Jack Hilton, by David Trembath. It's a beauty, Cage, straight up and down. Tap down. Comes again, Prosser working in hard. Pretty scrambly work in the last couple of minutes, Neville.
Yes, it has been scrambly, and I think the Roosters just getting a little tired. Their endeavour's been fantastic tonight, and the Double Blues still in there having a go. Lena gets the knock. Sims again. Tries to get around. Decides to handball to Crooks. His kick is high. Relying on a bit of tall timber in Arnold. From behind, couldn't grab it. Atkinson where he should be, taking the crumbs. So's Lehman. Jarman, as he so often is, scouting the periphery of the packs. Chips short. Beautiful disposal to Bond. 5 marks, Ashley Bond. Wonder how he likes his martinis. 30 metres out from goal. Not a bad attempted goal, but just a little... Oh, very close indeed.
Nice work as it comes away. The handball across was good. Darren Jarman looking up, having a look around, has to work the ball around his body. And again, the pass off, a good lead offered. And when you're up forward and you can see a bloke like Darren Jarman who's got the ball, then of course you'll lead hard like Ashley Bond did. He put it straight through the centre. It was a good goal in the end.
Back in the centre, North Adelaide through Sims, working the ball out of defence. Comes the way of Lehman, a very good player for North Adelaide tonight. In fact, they really haven't had a passenger. Towards centre half forward, offhand it goes. Lehman tries to throw his way through the pack, loses the football. Back towards McCarthy. McCarthy with a high kick back towards the centre of the ground. Gee whiz, Scotty Field. In fact, that was Whittlesey who made that mistake. picked up by Marshall. Marshall towards centre half forward. McCarthy coming in. Rick, they're working hard, gets it over towards Russell. Now can the Blues work up some sort of system? Back towards the centre wing position. Taken by Alexander. Sturt trying to move it out. It was McGlashan. Who's been pinged holding the ball. In fact, it was Gribble. And the free kick will be taken by Prosser. Centre wing, North back into attack towards half forward. And Bauer. Kicks back towards the centre of the ground and taken by Tasker. That kick came from Rick there, but Tasker takes the mark. Kicks it out wide, looking out there for Arnold. Players up high, ball to ground. Jit heavy work there. Arnold with the footy, but a free kick has been picked out in the interim. It'll go the way of Bauer of the Double Blues.
It's the ex-Richmond player, Darren Bauer. He's worked hard. And since coming onto the ground, a couple of players a little upset. And at this stage of the game, the margin as it is, it's be wasted time. 11 touches, Bauer, since half-time, so he's done well. Breaks away, decides on the handball across to Scott Field. Fielder's got the run provided by Russell through centre wing. The kick a low one towards centre half forward, and Blair has played a very useful game in defence. In fact, the whole defensive unit of North Adelaide has been great. Bradley Ryan onto the ground, puts it wide towards Sims. The tackle was good, and Sims a little slow in getting rid of it. Tried to get it on quickly, but couldn't, and Kim Russell's tackle found him holding the ball.
Strong player, Russell, and makes the tackle stick. Certainly does, and a 50-metre penalty. Not the fourth we've seen tonight. It certainly makes a difference to sides' opportunities as Russell pushes the ball in long. With his 10th kick in front, Ryan again to Bennett. 14th kick to him. Sims getting on the end of the ball. At will at the moment. Kick not well put. Finds Lynn. Played in the ruck tonight. Under a lot of pressure up against early Redden and then Bennett. The North Adelaide duo had the better. You're live at Footy Park on Nine's Wide Water Sports. 11 minutes gone on this final quarter.
Yes, Bennett played a super game tonight for North Adelaide, but Leonard on that occasion gets the tap away, taken by Blair. Tasker. Players working hard there. Scrimmage of umpire Hilton will call for a bounce. Umpire Michael Nunan, I'd say. In fact, it's coach umpire. In fact, it's coach Michael Nunan. I'll get it right in a moment. With Rod Sade there. The bounce. I guess he'd like to be umpiring. Northwood wouldn't by even bigger margin. Bennett over the top, taken by Clisby to Jarman. North Adelaide coming out of defence. Geez, blokes played well tonight. Bennett, he really has played a super game. Bond to Hill, in towards goal, kick, and it's slightly astray. Simon Hill has played a very good game at centre half forward for North Adelaide. Not much of him, but he's got a very good pair of hands.
Well, Ashley Bond is also a player who's impressed me, and he's number 26, and he's worked hard at full back on Graham Nusky, but now coming into the forward lines, he's done a lot of useful things in this final quarter. He's a forward of some note, and he's performed very, very usefully in that position. The free kick has gone to Alexander. He's in the back pocket, almost a half-back flank. We'll kick toward the centre wing for Sturt. Plenty of players there. Lean it over the back, it goes. Clisby will get there first. Will handball away as per usual. A solid defender has found Prosser, but Prosser carried the ball toward the line and couldn't kick it before it went over. 13-11, 89, North Adelaide. Sturt at 2-6-18, 13.5 minutes played, final quarter.
It's a miserable scoreline for the Double Blues, who last week could boast two forwards, 9 odd goals between them. One is Veal, who's not with them tonight, and the other was Nusky. There's no opportunities, and John Riley in the first 3 quarters was just so tight, no opportunities. Nusky hasn't had a kick tonight. That's been how close he's been played, and mixed up with the opportunities he hasn't had. Been a pretty dismal night for the Double Blue forwards. One they'd probably like to forget, but I don't think Coach Higgins will let them. Something they'll have to learn by. Reynolds gets the knock. Painter also quiet tonight. pushes them forward with his 7th kick underneath it. Burke plays on. High. Goes to Redbone, it was. Goes to field. He's held by Blair. Play on's the call. Out of bounds. We'll have another throw in.
Coming up shortly, stay with us, coast to coast, right after the footy. Boundary umpire about to bring the ball back into play. Burke goes over the top, thumped away by Bond. Chance now for Whittlesey. The ball came from Miller back towards Bauer, who hasn't played badly since coming on for the Blues. Left boot. Tiller's there, can't complete the mark. Clisby's played superbly in defence. Goes the way of Bradley Ryan, the former West Adelaide player. Kicks back towards centre wing. Simon Hill, good grab. Had his name written all over that football, a long way from home. His 6th mark.
Gee, that was a beauty. He came in from behind and he was running almost at full pace when he got it, and those sticky fingers kept hold of it. He's got it to Peter Bennett at centre half forward. Has taken his 9th mark, kicks it wide with his 16th kick deep into the pocket. Atkinson picks it up. The short pass across was well placed. The only player there was David Walk, and he's put it through for a minor score to North Adelaide. Almost 15.5 minutes played. 13-12-90, plays 2-6-18. It's a 72-point margin.
And you asked prior to tonight's game, Ken, whether or not you thought the Double Blues bubble might burst. It certainly has, and it's been pretty disappointing. Most people expected it to be a lot closer tonight. But they've been outclassed completely by the Roosters. Second to the footy all night, and only really been that second half they've been able to lift their rating just a little, but only 2 goals. Nothing to worry about. The Roosters go back towards half forward. Sims in front. Lehman caught. 3 Double Blue players there. Make sure he goes nowhere. 16 minutes gone. Final quarter. 18 plays 90. Their first loss, the Double Blues, as Reynolds gets the knock towards Painter. With the ball now, Coops. Loose kick forward. In the way is Bravo. Sims throws himself over the top of the player. He doesn't like that, but he receives his free kick. That's the main thing. From half back, his 6th kick, back towards centre wing. Puts it up high. The kick isn't well put, and Lehman in the way as he has been most of the evening.
Yes, young Troy Lehman, a very fine young footballer. Towards centre half forward he goes. The spoiler is McCarthy. Scrambly football. Marshall's on the bottom of the pack there for North Adelaide. Reynolds is there, but the ball has been taken by umpire David Trenbath. It's been a great night for footy, weather-wise. Super night. Sadly, the performance by Sturt hasn't been as good. Taken by Coops. Up towards full forward it goes. Bennett. Oh, a strong mark. Gee, that's his 10th mark tonight, Bennett. He's in scintillating touch. Centres it there. Beautifully put to Darren Jarman. That's poor checking by the Double Blues, but great football by Peter Bennett. And this man, of course, a very important player for North Adelaide in the coming season. His brother's gone to Norwood, and they meet in the first game. D. Jarman versus A. Jarman. Well, that'd be a battle. Excuse me. 16 kicks, 7 handballs, and 1 goal.
Great mark by Bennett over the top. He's come in. He's certainly got 6 or 8 inches on Kim Russell there, but he could have perhaps had a shot at goal. He's kicked 2, but decided to place the ball across. You couldn't get a better placed kick than that one. And Darren Jarman, the player that he is, had no trouble in converting for his first goal.
The scoreline in the final game in round 3 of the Foundation Cup, 14-12-96, and Sturt 2-6-18. Centre bounce, Reynolds. It's favoured by a bounce. Jarman around the body. Kicked their last goal. Brodie Atkinson interfered with them by Russell. It wasn't seen. Another bounce, and umpire John Hilton will take control of that. He was joined tonight by David Trenbath, and between them they practiced with the 50-metre rule, unsuccessfully in my opinion. And but I'm assured by others that have seen it happen in the VFL that it takes them a while to settle down with it, and it might be Might be a good thing for South Australian footy. Time will tell. I'm not really a supporter of it. As Burke takes it, pushes it in towards full forward. Nooska out on a lead. Well spoilt. Tasker gets back for the crumb. With his 8th kick, goes towards half back. They set themselves. McGlashan wins out to Grivell. Has a look, lifts the eyes. Whittlesey through the centre of the ground. His deliberate kick, his 8th high. Alexander couldn't take it. Radbone. Usually pretty whippy around the packs. Chips towards goal. Not long enough on that occasion. Bradley Ryan in the way.
Bradley Ryan. Bond. Over to Blair. North Adelaide will move this ball out of defence with great system. Give him a rap and they mess it up. Taken by McGlashan. That's a poor handball. Taken by Coops. In fact, he's holding the ball far too long, and McGlashan will take the free kick. He's at half forward left. The Blues go into attack. A high ball back towards centre half forward. Clisby, a one-handed mark? No. Yes, it's been. In fact, he's been awarded a free kick. He's been like the Rock of Gibraltar at centre half back. Bradley takes the handball. And this young man's played superb tonight, young Jason Blair. Runs through centre wing. Over to Troy Lehman. Like the look of it, young man. That young man kicks towards centre half forward. Off hands it goes. McCarthy. Back towards Walk. Bouncing towards the boundary line goes the football. Walk takes possession, then handballs away. And the ball eventually goes out of play. So almost 21 minutes gone in this final term. North Adelaide 14-12-96. The Double Blues 2-6-18 on 9's Wide World of Sports.
That's a 78-point margin. It really is a thrashing. But you've got to say that North Adelaide certainly deserve it. Their work tonight has been great. Really has. They've played so well. The kick in. Over the back, Arnold, can he get his boot to ball? He's just got to pick it up. A soccer off the ground with the left boot. It's true.
Well, Paul Arnold, 6th kick, 3rd goal. It's not really unusual. Look at the smile. Only a backman would enjoy it that much. It's not unusual to see a backman have good feel for playing in the forward line. His body work tonight has been magnificent. Always able to prop. His timing's good. He's been a real asset there in the forward line.
Bounce. Reynolds got his hands to the footy. Taken by North Adelaide as they're going to attack again. Simon Hill was the player then. Almost had an airy. Back towards centre wing. Bond giving chase of North Adelaide. Played pretty well for a big man. Well tackled by Alexander. I'm impressed with this young man. He win the free kick for a very good tackle. Alexander goes the way of David Reynolds. Rick there is the running player from centre wing towards centre half forward. It's all Sturt here. Whittlesey should take the mark. Gee whiz, it hasn't been a good night for Greg Whittlesey. How often do you see him drop marks like that? And North Adelaide take the ball right away. Coops again with the footy from centre up towards centre half forward. Looking out there for Arnold. Can't quite take the mark. Goes in well for a big man. Flanked on this occasion by Burton, who's been strangely quiet tonight on a winning side. His kick is offline and only a minor score. So North Adelaide 15-13, 103. The Double Blues 2-6-18. And Bucky, how often do you see Greg Whittlesey drop those sort of marks?
Well, you don't. It's a rarity. There's no doubt about that. Head went down afterwards. He's despondent and still shaking his head about it now. He'll never do that again, I would think. Not for a long, long time. But he's only had 8 kicks this evening. That's the way the Sturt have played. Heads down tonight, but great credit to North Adelaide because their game has been spot on. The kick in. Oh, that's a good mark. I would have paid it. The umpire didn't. It's come off hands. Burton. The kick to the forward pocket area, to the line, close and out of bounds again. And I thought that Clinton Bravo had enough of that to be paid the mark. Nevertheless, I'm not umpiring out there. Boundary umpire has it. Forward pocket about 30 metres around from the North Adelaide goal. 103 plays 18. 85-point margin. Reynolds couldn't get it away. The handball comes across. The snap at goal is just thin by Burton and 1 point further to the North Adelaide score.
That's his 3rd. Craig Burton. A player with plenty of pace. Likes to run at goal. Played a lot of his footy on a wing. Out of bounds. There's the scoreline. 86 points difference in favour of North Adelaide. Hill in ruck. It's the knock. Brodie Atkinson over the top of the ball. Our camera work at at head height. There it is again. Talk about live on 9. You feel like you're there when you look at that. Kim Russell wants to go on with it and does. Has to force across the ground with his 12th kick. It's good work by Prosser to force him onto that side. McGlashan chips short. Bower with the ball. In contrast to their game last week, it's all short. Last week they went long. They had O'Keefe at centre half forward. They had Veal and Nuski at full forward. All their work was long, and their little fellas, McGowan, Field, Radbone, all running up, getting under the ball. It's all been so different tonight. Brodie Atkinson, Bower, or Marshall at least. Prosser, the ex-Norwood player, he's a left footer. Had to give it to someone on their right. Tasker provided that run. He goes towards goal and kicks his first with his 9th kick.
He's a happy man, Sean Tasker, and gee whiz, North Adelaide are doing to Sturt tonight as we see Prosser here, flanked by Tasker, and that's what North are trying to do, is get more run from that half-back flank. And Tasker's delighted with that goal, and as I said, North Adelaide are doing to Sturt tonight what the Magpies did to North Adelaide in last year's grand final. 16 goals, 14, would you believe? To Sturt, 2 goals, 6. And Bucky, how can a side only kick 2 goals in 4 quarters of footy?
Well, you're seeing it live on 9, and there's no doubt about it. Sturt just haven't got their game together. That the heads are down, they're despondent, but they've got to work a lot harder than they've worked this evening. As I'll say it again, North Adelaide are a powerful side. In ruck, Bond. He goes high, gets the tap down. Atkinson over the top of the ball. Darren Jarman tries to get it away. Bond taps it out. Kicked by Grivell toward the half-forward area. Out in front is Burke. Picks it up nicely. The handball away. Looking for Painter. Overruns the ball. Back there, Clisby. Real rock back there, and that's the final siren on the margin. 92 points in favour of North Adelaide.
And there it is. Dismal night for Kevin Higgins and his double blues, but they'll live to fight another game. They would have learnt their lesson tonight, and Mike Nunan will retire happy this evening.
Final score, North Adelaide 16 goals, 14, 110. Sturt 2-6, 18. You're watching it on 9's Wide World of Sports. Back shortly. And welcome back to Football Park, and there's the final scoreline. North Adelaide having a great night. 16 goals, 14, 110. Defeated the Double Blues, 2 goals, 6, 18. Look at that scoreline for the Double Blues. Unbelievable stuff. The main goal kickers for the Roosters, Coops, Arnold, booted 3 each, and Bennett 2. A sensational game by Peter Bennett, and Sotheby and Bravo for the Double Blues were their only 2 goal scorers. But certainly a fantastic performance by North Adelaide. They controlled the aerial, the air work through Bennett and also Redden early in the game, and they had good players right across the centre. For Sturt, well, they certainly couldn't get in the game tonight. It was a different-looking Double Blues side than we've seen in the previous 2 weeks. Their form up until tonight had been outstanding, and no doubt Kevin Higgins would be a disappointed man with their performance tonight. In fact, I've never seen so many key players down on form as was the case with Sturt tonight. But take nothing away from North Adelaide. Their form was outstanding. I thought young Simon Hill at centre-half forward was a star, and he's certainly going to be a fine player of the future. I thought young Lehman across centre won many, many kicks, and Tasker across the half-back flank, John Riley early in the game. Their defensive work was outstanding. Up forward, of course, they had Arnold, the veteran of many North Adelaide games, who's played well in defence in previous years, now tried at centre-half forward and, of course, at full forward. So North Adelaide far too good for a disappointing Double Blues side tonight, and I just wonder now whether they'll come back. Of course, looking towards Friday night, the 2 games on Nine's Wide World of Sports. We've got South Adelaide playing the Double Blues, and South Adelaide's form, particularly against Port Adelaide on Saturday at the Albert Noble, was very encouraging. That should be a good game. The first time we'll see South Adelaide at lights here at Football Park, and West Torrens playing the Bulldogs in the late game. OK, let's now take you to Graham Campbell.
Winning coach Michael Nunan. Well, Michael, a quarter time, you must have been feeling good. 4 goals into that stiff breeze.
Well, we started quite well. We were a different unit tonight. We were a little bit more aware, and that reflects what we've been doing in training. So we get a bit of a result when we start being as offensive as we were tonight.
Talking about a different unit, you tried Paul Arnold at full forward and Simon Hill centre-half forward. Both come up trumps.
Well, I think Paul's always been a good player. He just needs to lose a bit more weight.
And wants to get away from full-back, they tell me.
Well, I think he was. The signs were there as far as his speed at full-back, but at full forward, he's very good in the air. Good things happen around him, and it's been very useful to see the way Simon Hill came along tonight.
Terrific.
You know, good lot of talent, but putting it into effect is one thing, and playing one game's one thing. Consistency is the thing that we now look for.
Brodie Atkinson, Mike, your comment on him?
Well, Brodie, you know, I like little rovers, of course. And,
you teach him much?
Well,
that's an ex-rover?
He's a very, very lucky boy in that he's right alongside Darryl Hart. And
right.
I don't think you get too much better experience and learning on the field. I can say a few things on the track, but it's on the field with those sorts of men that I think are very important in your development.
Mike, I haven't seen such a thumping victory for a long time in a night series game. Are you aiming at top spot? I think you're there.
No, I'm very much aiming to try and give a lot of people in our club an opportunity to stamp a mark. We've got to add a few people to our game, and you know, tonight there were a couple of lads that put their hand up.
North Adelaide of old tonight, Mike. Well done.
Thank you, Graham.
Graham Campbell there talking to a very happy Michael Nunan, so he ought to be. Their performance tonight was fantastic. OK, hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the game tonight between Sturt and North Adelaide. Look forward to having your company again on Friday night here at Football Park on Nine's Wide World of Sports. It should be an excellent game of football. Until then, bye everyone.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.